And so I guess with that, how often do you think healthcare professionals, specifically physicians, how often do you think that they should renegotiate their contract?
I often say short and nimble contracts benefit the doctor. So every 2 to 3 years, doctors should be coming back to the table to say, hey, I'm super happy here. I love everything about my practice. Just want to make sure this aligns with what the market is now for a physician of my experience, skill set, and care setting. And I'll share just a quick story. I actually have a question for you.
Mhm.
I have a doctor who was up for a renegotiation, and she had called me and told me right off the bat, Ethan, my pay got cut in half. They cut my base salary in half. They promised me some additional volume based compensation. Spoiler, that never came. So I'm effectively making half of my salary that I was before. So for a doctor like that, what would what would cause her to not want to make a move? Because ultimately she decided, well, I'm going to try to fix this myself, which is kind of like me trying to treat my own medical illness. But I'm curious, when that happens to doctors, or when they're in those really toxic situations, what is it that keeps doctors there without saying, I deserve better and I'm going to do something about it? What's your observations, Lillian?
Yeah, so I really think part of it is actually learned helplessness. I think a lot of times we are in an organization, a healthcare system, or university that really just, this is just how it is. And so if your circle of mentors or your circle of advisors is just in that world, which often can be after, 5, 10 years of practice, your world is your bubble. You don't really realize you're not, if you don't participate in national or regional conferences and you sort of see the diversity of healthcare and practice in the United States, you actually just don't know what you don't know. So I think a lot of it is actually also your local sort of what we call board of directors for any particular individual. Like you need to have some diversity and also be hopefully learning and growing along the way. A lot of times, once we hit the pinnacle of like, I'm in practice, life is stable, family's growing, you sort of settle into complacency and stability and other things happen, right? Like other things happen in your life, and you really actually want to prioritize those other aspects of your life so that you really let this part of your career and your attention to the details sort of go. I think the other thing that happens in these toxic situations is just the fact that you either take on a martyr sort of feeling where you're like,
Mm.
well, all the patients, all 1,000 people would be worse off without me, or like if it weren't for me. And it's true, actually. I mean, it's 100% true. I mean, when a really amazing physician either dies or leaves the practice, yes, thousands of people are affected. And at the same time, you own the martyrdom like it's something very important to you. And so with that, it becomes so deeply entrenched into your emotional identity that you just can't let it go. So part of it, I think, is just, you just don't know what you don't know.